Hello everyone. I am going to attempt my first vlog, my first knitting vlog, and I'm in selfie mode because I do not have a tripod because I am in very hot, very dry Las Vegas. I'm finishing up a work trip here, so the vlog will not actually be of me knitting in Vegas, although I love that kind of juxtaposition of what Vegas usually means for people. The conference was great. Vegas is exhausting, but this is my first time here, so it was really cool to get to explore a little bit. I did lose $30 for those of you who are curious. I don't foresee myself ever gambling again, but never say never also. But yeah, this was my first leg of my journey. The knitting vlog, I'm thinking, is going to be for the next leg of the journey. I am going up to my grandmother's in upstate New York. There's a really cute yarn store up there called Connected Stitches in Dryden, New York. And I've been there before when I was first starting to knit. And I'm really excited to go back. I'm gonna get a garment quality worth of yarn. There's a couple of different knitted tank tops that I'm really hoping to make for this summer. So they have a pretty good stash there. They have a good variety of brands that a lot of my local yarn stores don't really carry. So I'm gonna go get a few skeins and then I'm gonna see how much I can knit in one weekend. Upstate New York, when we visit my grandma, it's usually pretty chill. She has some horses. My dog Milo loves running around in her fenced yard, so it'll be hopefully a very relaxing and very beautiful weekend. And I'm hoping to get a lot of knitting done. All right, I'll see you in New York. I am in upstate New York at my grandmother's, and I just did a very fun haul. Well, I bought yarn. I thought this would be a good time to do the yarn haul because my grandmother and my mother are out running a couple errands. This beautiful rainy Saturday, why not talk about yarn? I went to the yarn store yesterday. It's now Saturday morning. Okay, so first up, the yarn store had a couple of these Kramer Yarns Perfection Worsted on sale for $5 a skein, and I think it's because they're getting discontinued, if I read the sign correctly. And I did little to no research myself before filming this, but I ended up getting 3 skeins of these in different colors. But this one's just a gray, kind of like a nice heathered gray. And it is, what is it called? Elegant gray, actually. But it is it's machine wash, tumble dry safe, because it's 30% merino, 70% acrylic. And the reason I wanted to get this was because there's a slipper pattern that was being talked about on the Table 10 podcast, which I've been really enjoying lately. They're so much fun to watch. And I thought those would be really great gifts for like my mom, my stepmom, my, just like little Christmas gifts. And I got a couple of these skeins because I think the pattern only calls for like, it's not a lot of yarn. The Murano slippers by Tracie Millar, and they only call for 127 to 175 yards, which is like 116 meters to 160 meters. And this is 200 yards. So I think I can make a pair from just one skein. This is slightly bigger than the yarn that is recommended. The yarn that they recommend has a 22 stitch gauge. This is a 20 stitch gauge. So it might be a little bit thicker, but I think for slippers that's okay. So I got this gray because I thought that was a good neutral. I got this orange color for my mom. It's just orange, no fun name. Yeah, this orange, and then I got this flame red because I really like this color and I might end up making a pair for myself. And the pattern does have a different color like edge like around the top of it. So I don't know if I'm gonna just like kind of mix and match a couple of these or if I'll get a different yarn, because I also think in the pattern it says to use a smaller needle for that edging. So I don't know if I could also use maybe like a smaller yarn or like a thinner yarn. But I got these three for those Murano slippers. Thank you, Table 10 Podcast, for putting me on to that pattern. I'm excited to make it. And then my first garment that I'm planning on making from this yarn is the Camisole No. 10 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. And I made my first Knitting for Olive purchase. This is the first Knitting for Olive yarn that I've ever had. I got the pure silk in Plum Rose. The lighting is not very good right now. But it's this, plum rose, dusty, mauve-y color. And in certain lights, it's almost brown. But I really like it. I think it's almost like a neutral because it's so muted, but it has a little bit it's a little richer than that. So I think this will be very pretty for a boat neck cami. I am going to make the size large in this one, despite the fact that I think if I were to be following the correct measurements for my bust, I should be doing the extra large. But the thing is, they only had 4 skeins of this, and each ball is 50 grams. For the large size, I only needed 200 grams of this yarn, but for the extra large, I needed 250, and the store only had 4 balls. So I only have 200 grams, therefore I will be making a large. I think that'll be fine though. So this is held double. These will be held double. And allegedly this is enough. I don't know. I feel like 4 balls is not a lot, but then I have to remember it's a cami. It's not actually like a camisole. It's not actually a full sleeved shirt of any kind. So it should be enough, but it's held double. This is very soft. I'm very excited to work with this. Well, it's soft for a, like, it's not like merino wool soft, it's not like alpaca soft, but it's like a very like smooth, like summer fabric. I don't know how else to describe it, but it is quite luxurious. Each of these skeins was $12.50. Yeah, $12.50 US. Which I do know that this shop had to increase prices because of tariffs. However, for summer garments, because it requires so many fewer skeins, I was able to handle that. I had budgeted for this trip, I will say. Anyway, so I got this in Plum Rose, and it's 250 meters for every 50 grams, 100% Boret silk. And It says I need to use 4mm or 5mm needles. So US 6 or US 8. I'm excited to work with this. I'm not sure if this will be the first one I cast on, because the other yarn I got is Lena by Sandiscarn in, I think she had to look up the name. I think it's called Regatta Blue. I'm pretty sure, because it just has numbers right now. But yeah, I'm gonna use this to make the SABAI top.